I'm not even logged in.
Well, you better get logged in because we are now live on YouTube. Welcome, everyone.
Hi.
Today is it's an interesting thing happening here because I was the one that was not ready. I was sitting here like a minute and a half before we were ready to go live, and I was like, something's missing, and it was my microphone. So I had to set that up real quick. So hopefully everyone can hear me. It's been a fun day, I tell you. It always is, isn't it? We don't have anything in particular prepared today. You were taking a little bit of notes before we started here, so I don't know what you got.
I can't even read them. They're so, yeah. Half the words I put down, I'm like, what did I write?
Well, we're just going to wing it, and it's going to be fun. That's why the title of the live stream was Live Aquarium Q&A. We're going to have some fun with that.
I noticed the fish that you put up. Very colorful.
Yeah, I just thought it was pretty.
Yeah.
That's not us campaigning for glowfish, but it was cute. I mean, you know, it's a nice little picture. So listen, I do have a couple of things that I want to talk about. First is kind of a big deal for us because it's finally official. I got the official word from the folks at Aquashella. Thank you, Melissa Jeswald, for the sound and video check. We are indeed 1 p.m. on Sunday. Here, let me move this so that you can actually see me. 1 p.m. Sunday, June 13th. Is that the 13th? Whatever the Sunday is of Aquashella. That is when we are going to be doing our talk. Very excited about that. I don't know if we've really talked about this yet, but I kind of think we should. The topic is going to be couples in fish keeping. Obviously, we are a couple in fish keeping. We're going to kind of tell our story of how we became a couple in fish keeping, and then get into, you know, just kind of a short, hopefully short, version of our story. And then we've got a few things that we're working on that will be the benefits, like things that you can expect from having a spouse or a girlfriend or a boyfriend that is also involved in fish keeping.
And
so
there's also a couple things that we've never shared.
One really big thing.
Yeah, that we have never talked about it on YouTube. Honestly, we've really never talked about it.
I think the only people that even know it are people that are like very, very close to us.
Yeah.
And it is a big thing. It's a big deal that we haven't talked about before. I was against it. I was against talking about it, but it kind of does make sense because of the way.
Yeah, I mean, couples and fish keeping.
Yep. So if you're going to be at Aquashella, make sure you come up and say hi to us. And then also make sure you stick around for 1 p.m. on Sunday. We'll be doing the talk.
Right.
Lots of YouTubers are doing talks this time. I think almost everyone that is doing a talk is a YouTuber, either on the saltwater side or the freshwater side. Mm-hmm. So that's real cool. And it makes sense.
Some we know, some we don't.
Yep.
Personally. But I would say we... Flip Aquatics, Zenzo, Jason.
Yep.
Am I missing anybody?
Well, they haven't announced everybody yet, which is kind of weird. Aquashella people, come on now. It's a week and a half away, 2 weeks, but it's not on the website yet. There's only 3 speakers that are on the website, and Serpa, so it's 4. So I don't know. But your son just said something that's got me all thrown off.
I just saw that.
It's the new shirt, David Flippo. Thank you. The new shirt, and it looks great from here up, but when I stand up and the gut let the gut fly,
he's finally wearing
rough.
Shirts that fit him instead of the ones that are 2 sizes too big. So
yeah. Anyway, come to Aquashella if you want to see the new shirts. But yeah, it's. I can't remember all of the people that are speaking. There's a few saltwater people that we're not familiar with, and that's okay. But anyway, yeah, it's going to be very cool. I'm going to make sure that I step in for all of the people that we know. Not step up on stage, but be there to support them. I don't know that I'll be able to be there for the entire talks of all of the people that we know, because then I'd be sitting in the room the whole time, like watching these people talk.
There is two of us, so we could kind of. That's the benefit of both of us being involved. Is one of us could be supporting one person or group of people, and the other one of us could be doing something else. So
yeah, it's just going to be so much fun. We're going to be splitting time between the YouTube booth, the CJ booth, the Extreme booth, and the Custom Aquariums booth. We don't have any particular times for any of those. If you are going to be there at any point of the weekend, come by one of those 4 booths. If you want to say hi to us, I promise we will be either wandering around or we will be at one of those 4 booths. I am really looking forward to it. I'm really looking forward to I don't want to say after parties, because we're not party people, but the sitting around and shooting the you-know-what with like-minded people is going to be a beautiful thing, because I think I've done that exactly one time in the last year and a half. And so that's going to be beautiful to be able to do that. So anyway, yes, if you're on the fence of whether or not you should go to Aquashella, you should definitely do it. It's going to be a lot of fun. They're not paying me to say any of these things. It's just, it is what it is. I mean, I had so much fun when I was at the first one, and I'm really looking forward to going to this one.
I can't wait to see people that I've met before and new people that I've never met. I don't know everybody that's going, so if somebody pops up and says they're going, that's just going to be a bigger treat for me, somebody that I'd like to meet. But I can't wait to see Joanna again, because she's just awesome from Prime Time. Just a wonderful person, and we have so much in common. Plants and fish and bald guys, you know. And then I really want to meet Carrie, Science Gal. She's really sweet, and I can't wait to meet her.
She's in here. I just saw her pop up in the chat.
Okay, so I'm talking about all the women,
Okay.
of course, because
I ain't gonna stop you.
I don't know. There's just not as many women in fish keeping that I think there should be. I think there should be a bunch more. It seems like men take over this hobby, so I'd like to see more women involved.
This hobby is definitely dominated by men. There's no doubt about that. I can tell you this though, and if you think back, you will realize this. If you go back 5 years, maybe 6, 7 years, there were, like, I can't think of any female YouTube channels.
But there was Jenny.
See, there you go. You make me look like a jerk. You're right.
There
How
was
could I forget Jenny?
And Rachel started coming along.
Rachel was like 2014 or 15, I think.
Somewhere around 15, maybe.
She had just started her channel
when. She was doing
when,
it, but not, I think, to the consistency of
Right.
now. You know, she was teaching and stuff. But, yeah, there weren't a lot, but now there's so many more, even as young as, you know, Brianne, you know, and she's in middle school. I think that's awesome.
well,
So-
and I don't think, all due respect to Jenny, I adore her. I hope she's doing okay. We all have to acknowledge that Rachel kind of set the tone for that. Rachel was kind of the
Yeah.
trendsetter for bringing females not into the hobby. I'm sure she's brought a ton into the hobby,
yeah.
but I mean,
More.
bringing them into the YouTube space and giving them a voice and all of that. It's a beautiful thing.
Oh, yeah.
Um,
I hope she's able to go to Aquashella. I mean, you know, I don't know, but it would be nice if she's there.
We
I
were
love
talking about that yesterday, you and I. We were talking about who is going to be there. And I'm sure there's going to be a ton of people there, but as far as YouTubers go, there's not as many as we were hoping. that we know of anyway. I mean,
Yeah,
I
you
could be
never
wrong.
know. Somebody could pop in unexpectedly.
There's always people that it was like, oh, I totally forgot about that one, but I'm hoping to have a real good response. The folks at Aquashella are giving us the biggest booth in the entire event is going to be for the YouTube booth. So many YouTubers speaking and stuff like that. It's going to be a YouTube kind of crazy fest. So, but I'm so much looking forward to it. Plane tickets are booked. The hotel is booked. We're all good there. Everything's all set in stone.
This guy trying to get rent a car.
Here we go. This is what's going to happen now.
He was
Yep.
trying to get a rent a car. He's like, okay, if we leave at this time, we could be there at that time. It's just going to be a few hours difference because we don't have to worry about checking in our bags, driving an hour and a half to get to the airport.
I wonder if she's
getting
going to
an
tell the true
Uber.
story here. Go ahead.
And I said, who's the one that has the anxiety about flying? You know?
Okay, first of all, I think the word anxiety is used way too much, but I'm getting ready to use that word myself. What I explained to her, folks, see, this is me being a good person, okay? I explained that the threat of you, young lady, melting down like you did when we flew to Charlotte, which is a 18-minute flight.
I didn't feel very well that day.
I know you
John.
didn't, but that whole disaster that was that trip, worrying about whether something like that could possibly happen again gives me anxiety. And I said, you know what? We can bypass all of that. And you're right. I did say, look, it's going to take 12 hours, 13 and a half with all of your pee breaks to drive down there. And it's really when you factor in having to get to the airport early and all of the time to check bags and get bags from the blah, 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 get the rental car. It would only be a few hours more if we drove. I did say that. I said it for you. I was expecting, this is what I was expecting. I'm a good person. I was expecting her to say, oh, what a huge relief. Thank you. That's amazing. Yes, let's do that. But instead, this woman says, what are you, scared to fly? Did you not listen to what I said?
I know, but there's like 6 hours of that day that'll be wasted, and then again on Monday. And I just don't like to waste time.
But it's not wasted. It's either wasted sitting in the car or wasted sitting in the airport.
There's an extra 6 hours, though.
Okay.
Wasted.
We're flying. The tickets are bought. We're flying. So there's really no debate now. But
Yeah.
I was just trying to look out for you. That's all I was trying to do. So
Thank you.
it is what it is. But but yeah, I didn't want to dominate the whole thing with that. Really excited about it, though. Excited to finally get to meet the people. I don't know how it's going to work as far as, you know, how close we're going to be able to be to people and all. I don't know. We're just going to have to see when we get there. But watching a little bit of footage from Reefapalooza, it almost just looked like a normal event,
Yeah.
which is really cool. So I know everybody's still going to be leery, and so are we, but it's nice to see something close to normal. And there was a lot of people there. So
Right.
I think it's going to be very, very cool. So looking forward to hanging out with quite a few people down there that we've already got plans with and stuff, dinner dates and all of these things.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be a good time. So
I think you're probably going to hang out with Fishy Biz a lot.
no, Fishy Biz is going to hang out with me.
Whatever. You're going to be his little sidekick.
I'm going to carry him around as my bodyguard is what I'm going to do. I'm going to be like,
So
look,
silly.
you see this dude back here, like towering over me? You going to mess with me? Go ahead and try. Let's see how that works out for you.
You're so full of it. Full of it.
The only reason I'm saying that is because he's in the chat right now. But anyway, yes, very fun, very exciting. Can't wait for it. I don't know what more needs to be said. I do think that we will be, as long as there's no delays or anything like that with the airport, we will be there in time to do the live stream that night. But will we? I still don't know. We're going to have to see. I mean, I'm not bringing a whole big, huge setup. I'm not bringing lights. I'm not on a plane. I'm not doing all of
Again,
that.
I said this last week. If we can live stream out of a van with a telephone.
I know. You're right. You're absolutely right. And I still think if I don't know what kind of a room we got. Hopefully, it's one that has the balcony looking out into the atrium, and I think that would be a really cool place to do a live stream from. Mm-hmm. We're getting in on Thursday, and I don't know if any other people are getting in on Thursday, any other YouTubers, but you know, we might even be able to entertain the idea of a special guest or two, if people are there on time.
You know what I think is funny? It just dawned on me. Aquafunk is going to be there. We'll know when he's there.
Oh,
we will know as soon as he walks.
All of Kissimmee, Florida is going to know he's there. Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome.
He talks in all caps. I mean, he doesn't just type in all caps. He talks in all caps. So yeah, everybody in pretty much the state of Florida is going to know that he's there. I don't think he's coming in until Saturday though, because he lives like right down the street from the thing. So he's not going to be there Thursday or anything like that. But
and don't forget Eric Furlow. We can see him. We
absolutely
finally get to meet him, and Dory.
I've had about 3,000 phone conversations with Andy Biro from Extreme. Never met him in person. Going to be able to finally meet him. Yeah. I've met Rick a couple times, but not Andy. So that's going to be cool.
That is going to be awesome.
Yep.
That really will be.
I'm looking forward to it. Can you tell? Do you want to talk about it the whole hour and a half? We could do that. I mean, because I could definitely talk about how excited I am for Aquashella. Folks, this is an event that is not like anything else. They're not asking me to promote this event. I'm promoting it because I had so much fun there in 2019.
I've never gone.
It would have been more fun if you were there with me. I was worried about you the whole time, and I really got sick of answering the question, where's Lisa? That kind of got old after about 3 minutes.
You're so funny.
I was in line to go in because I didn't know, you're a YouTuber. You can just bypass the line. I'm waiting in the line with everybody else. And I think it was maybe 3 minutes. Hey, where's Lisa? Not like, hey, John, what's going on? It was, where's Lisa? And then all day, there was not a person that I encountered at that event that did not ask. So you're going to this one. If I have to put you in the luggage, you're going one way or another.
I was telling him, I don't know, yesterday or today, maybe it was yesterday, I said, yeah, I'm not 100% sure if I'll be able to go to the Chicago or Texas one. I was like, you could just go without me. You know, it's one of us is better than nothing. And he's like, yeah, I'm not going to go without you.
Yeah, I just can't. I can't see that. I can't see doing that. It was a lot of fun, but it's a different experience if you're there. So, yeah. We got to move on from it because we've already done 19 minutes on Aquashella. You're welcome, Aquashella. I do, folks, want to remind, did you want to talk about the GoFundMe thing, or because there was kind of an update for it?
Yes. The GoFundMe has finally surpassed 10,000. And, you know, so many people that are watching tonight and that watched a couple weeks ago and throughout the last couple weeks have donated, and it couldn't have been done without everybody in the fish community. So I just wanted to say thank you. They have a long ways to go, but, you know, something is happening at least, and that's a good thing. It's a positive thing, and I just hope it doesn't stop because they're not at their goal yet, but, you know, we can all only do what we can do. So, but thank you. I just wanted to make sure I brought that up. Thank you to everybody that has donated, everyone that has had compassion for this fish store that burned down, because I've heard people say, oh, they didn't have insurance. You know what? Life sucks sometimes, and you can't have insurance. Not everybody out there has health insurance. Not everybody out there has insurance for stuff, and it's not so much that they want to not have it. Some people just can't afford it. They're going through hard times. So, you know, I hate seeing that and hearing that. Well, they didn't have insurance. Well, you know what? Not everybody does, and it's not so much a choice. It just happens. So I'm not going to go on a rant. It's just that's one of the
Last
things
time
that
you got in trouble.
No, it really bothers me when I hear that. Have a little compassion and sympathy for people. It's sad. Whether they had insurance or not, that would not have saved those poor fish and animals. So anyway, thank you to all the really nice people that have donated to them.
Yeah, and just to say real quick, and if you're just joining us, you haven't been with us for the last couple of weeks, we've been talking about a store in North Carolina that we do not know. We were just alerted to this by somebody who did know, not a employee there or person that works there or family member or anything. We have talked to them since, but it was just a customer of ours that emailed and said, hey, I thought you might want to know about this. And we've been kind of talking about it ever since. So it's a store that was running for 42 years that burnt down to the ground. And so that's what that's what we're talking about. Has nothing to do with us. It's not money going to us. It's going to them. And the link is still at the top of the description. Thankfully, YouTube, when you set up a live stream, you can just reuse your settings from the previous week. And that's exactly what I did so that it would still be there from last week and the week before it. So, yes, if you got any scraps laying around in the wallet, send that over to them. I'm sure it could be a huge help, especially this time of year. This time of year is slow for the fish industry, period, which I guess if something like that's going to happen, it's probably best to happen at this time, because if it happened in November, oh, geez. I mean, that's like the busy time, or December, January, February. So it's probably better that it happens at a slow time. But anyway.
Wow. Not at all would be better. But
well,
okay.
Sure, of course. Come on. But I'm just saying, if it has to happen, now's probably the best time for it to happen.
Okay.
Can I get to these comments of all of these people talking about how beautiful you are now?
No.
Ligate 12, looking especially beautiful today, Lisa.
Aw,
At what
so
size
sweet.
can I reliably start to vent Malawi hawks? Kind of a weird segue to go into that.
That's really sweet, though.
Malawi hawks are generally going to get pretty large,
Yeah.
but you can vent them. Should be at a reasonable size, like maybe 3-4 inches. You should be able to flip them over and take a look. It's been a long time since I've done that, but yeah, it won't take all that long. My eyesight right now starting to go a little bit. Things are taking a little longer to get into focus. My knees are going too, which is lovely.
Oh,
but
yeah. Yeah, don't get me started on that.
yeah,
This man right here,
here we go.
a few days ago, convinced me to do the 3-letter word. And
Now you need to say, there's a couple of words that could be. You need to say what word it is.
No, let me just say.
It's run.
It was
Don't,
most
there's another 3-letter.
miserable. It was the most miserable experience. It's not something I like to do. I'm more of a walker. And not only does my hip hurt, I was out of breath. Phew. Yeah.
Getting old is terrible, but I actually believe that there is a conspiracy against me. I really do. I think it's something that I'm forbidden from doing exercise. I know that sounds like a cop-out. It's not. I want to do it so badly. I've been running for 2 weeks now, progressing nicely, doing well, enjoying it for once in my life, enjoying it. And yesterday my knee blew up.
No, it didn't. It just hurt.
Blew up all over the road.
Whatever.
No, it does. It didn't blow up, but it hurts, and it hurts bad.
That's why
and
you
this
just
is.
don't do it. It's such a stupid thing to do.
But I.
And then he convinces me to do it. He's like, just from here to there. And it was terrible.
I haven't heard the end of it since. It was 4 days ago. And she has been giving me you know what. So yeah, the 3-letter word, folks, because there's a lot of people that could have taken that the wrong way, is run. It's not another one. So just saying.
I said the 3-letter word.
You got to go back and watch this on replay, because the way you were saying it was kind of like, John convinced me to do the 3-letter word.
Okay.
Like, what are these people talking about? But anyway, yes, there is a conspiracy though, and it's really bothering me. I just want to be able to do what I need to do, and it's just not letting me. But I'll be back at it tomorrow, and I'll be good to go. But yeah, give your Malawi hawks probably, let's say comfortably 4 inches, and you can start venting them, and they should be okay. This is when you're going to want to be looking for one, so that we can be on track here. Oh, well, no, maybe you don't. Questions for Lisa. I have a split 10-gallon for 2 bettas.
Nice.
Will they stress each other out if they can see through the divider?
Well, possibly. So, you know what?
Most definitely. What do you mean possibly?
So what I suggest is your decorations, like if you have live plants or fake plants or whatever, line them up kind of along the divider on each side so they don't see each other, you know? I mean, that's what I would do. Put stuff in front of it. I would not necessarily block the holes, but just, you know, put some stuff up. Like if you have tall plants, just stick it along the side of the divider on each side. And that should help a lot.
And that's from Dio420. It reminds me of Ronnie James. Dio, go watch our video that, for whatever reason, completely bombed, and it surprises me because it's a beta video, and I think it's a really good one. But nobody watched it on Sunday. But we do actually address that in there. I address that in that video, so check that out. We talk about the effects of bettas being able, or bettas, whatever you want to say, being able to see each other all day long. It can indeed stress them out. So you want to limit that as much as you can. I love KG comes in again and says Lisa's shirt is nicer than yours, John. So hot, LOL. You don't need to LOL that. It's very true, and I know this.
Oh my gosh.
I'm trying. She doesn't have to try. That's the thing.
Oh, hush.
That's why it's brutal.
I'm not trying to make it about me or anything, but I lost some weight too, so.
Well, and I hit a wall. That's the problem. I got to get back into the swing of watching it go back down.
You have been doing wonderful, so you just pushed yourself a little too hard with that running thing.
The problem was it was hurting, and I kept going, and I should have stopped.
You should have.
But my pride as a man won't let me do that, and that's stupid.
You have to listen to your
This
body.
is why
If it says
men
slow
are
down,
stupid.
You have to slow down.
This is why men are stupid, and this is why men die before women. Nathan Chavez, I recently bought my Betta. I'm going to try to say Betta in one tank, and all my clowns in another tanks for the work you do. Helped me keep my head up and stick with the hobby. Cheers. Okay, hold on. Recently lost my Betta in one tank. Okay, now this is getting sad. My brain wasn't working properly there for a second. I'm sorry, Nathan. I'm going to start it all over again. Just rewind. I recently lost my Betta in one tank.
Aww.
And all my clowns in the other tanks. Thanks for the work that you do. Helped me keep my head up and stick with the hobby. Cheers.
Aww.
Sorry about that, Nathan. I'm sorry I botched that the first time. That is a bummer. We've had that happen. I mean, we've had it happen. And it seems to come in waves, and it's the worst part of this hobby. It is definitely unfortunate, and I feel for you. I'm sorry about that. We were originally, I was originally going to be doing a talk at Aquashella that was going to be about the religion of fish keeping, which that kind of was the premise behind it. What Nathan was saying, not necessarily us, like I wasn't going to get up there and say, we helped all these people, not that, but the hobby helping people through tough times. Right. We've had YouTubers talking about fish keeping saving their life. We've had a lot of people that we've met that have said they battled depression and things like that, and fish keeping helped them out of that. We had someone on our live stream say, I was going to kill myself and I did not. And he actually said it was because of us, but it was not us. It was the hobby that kept him from doing that. That's what the talk was going to be about. And we're probably going to touch on that a little bit as we go with the talk, but there was some wires crossed, because that's what I originally told Aquashella that I wanted to do the talk on. And then they asked if we could both do it. And I was like, well, if we're going to both do it, we're going to have to switch things up because, you know, and they didn't quite get that memo. So when they put up the announcement on Facebook with the picture of us announcing that we're going to be doing the talk, it still says the religion of fish keeping. Right. That's okay. We'll get into that a little bit, but no, the talk is going to be about couples and fish keeping. I think that's something we're a little bit more qualified to talk about, but I do want to touch on some of those things though. Right. And that it's certainly something that's beneficial to a couple because, hey, if this is saving people's lives, then it's something that could save couples, could save relationships. Maybe it saved ours. You'll have to watch to find out. You'll have to be there to find out. And if you are a member of the channel, I am going to try to do a video of that. It's not going to be a live thing. That's just too much. But I am going to see if I can get a couple of cameras set up for that and be able to put that up for members. So if you're not able to make it and you are a member, you will see it. So there you go. You look like you're chomping at the bit.
Oh, well, I have a question. Mark Hoffman asked, I have high pH well water. Should I stick with fish that do better in a high pH? Absolutely. Totally would recommend that if you're able to fall in love with the fish that likes a higher pH, I would go with the fish that like the higher pH and not the ones that like something lower. That way you're not trying to chase parameters, you know. African cichlids, they're amazing. They love high pH, you know. So I would definitely recommend, definitely guppies.
Yeah, there's a lot of fish. Still a lot of fish that you can go with that.
But, you know, and I think, I don't know, it's almost like if you have the lower pH, it might be harder to find fish. I don't know. You're South American. Yeah. It's like the lower, but I
think the majority of the fish in this hobby are going to be, particularly the ones that originate in the Amazon are going to be from softer water. But I agree 100%. It's easier to get fish that are more appropriate for that water than it is chasing pH all the time.
Right.
And there's another angle to this though. If you're going by what the rule book says, oh, well, these fish need to be at a pH of 6.0. I know how controversial this is, but that's not always going to be the case. If you're trying to breed them, then probably.
Right.
But we've talked about this in so many videos. Most of these fish, folks, that we buy for this hobby are born in farms that have a neutral pH. So when you go chasing a 6.0 or something like that, you're not necessarily hurting anything, but you could be wasting a lot of time. So I wouldn't stress out about that as much. Talk to the people that you're going to be buying your fish from. Hey, what are they in now? And if their conditions in their shop is close to what you have, then you can pretty much get whatever you want. So now, I mean, like I said, if you're trying to become a fish breeder or something like that, then maybe not as much. But, you know, just keeping them and keeping them happy and raising them, you should be fine. Stephen P. 2003, there it is. Alien Betta still doing great. I emailed you a link to the unboxing and in-tank footage on my channel. Hope you got it. I did, Stephen. I heard somebody call you Stefan the other day. And I don't know where they came up with that, but to me, S-T-P-H-E-N is Stephen. But is it Stefan? Am I an idiot? Have I been calling you Stephen?
S-T-E-P-H-A-N-I-E is Stephanie.
I don't know listen, Stephen, Stefan, I can do what I do with Betta. I can say, Stephen, Stefan. If your name is Stefan and not Stephen, I need to know that because your name pops up all the time and I would hate to be saying your name wrong this entire time. Yes, I did get that email. Yes, I did watch the video. Did I? I think I don't know. I will watch the video, I promise. And I will definitely email you back. I'm sorry. It's been a wild week.
Thursday is pretty busy for both of us.
It was a couple of days ago when he sent that, but yeah, you're right. Matilda Harden became a member. Welcome. I love the
Yay.
movie Matilda. It's one of my
I like
favorites.
the name Matilda. I think it's pretty cool.
Michelle Kinsey with a $2 pair that is dancing with sunglasses on, and it looks cute.
Aww.
You got one? Eric Furlow says, happy Thursday, y'all. 2-week countdown. Aquashella crew.
Yay.
You didn't seem like you were ready, so that's why I jumped in there.
Well, now I've moved. Okay. 434 Moran Street. Is that your address?
That would be interesting.
Ask, how much do I feed my beta and what to feed? Well, that's a good question. Depending on what you're feeding your betas, what you should decide on as far as how much to feed. You know, if you have a frozen cube of bloodworms, you're not going to want to feed the entire cube. You'll want to feed maybe 4 or 5 bloodworms after you soak it, you know, and take out 4 or 5 bloodworms. And you know, you got to be really careful with that. I definitely want to rewind here. Take that cube and cut it in 4. Don't thaw the whole thing out, or you're probably going to waste a bunch of bloodworms. So take a cube, cut it in 4, and take 1/4 of that cube, thaw it out, you know, put it in a little bit of water, and hopefully it's not too many bloodworms as far as going to waste, but feed 4 or 5 of them. That I would do maybe every other day. Get a good pellet, and you can feed that daily. I would be very cautious with pellets, though. I don't like to feed a lot at one time. I give our betas like 4 pellets at a time, not a lot, because you don't want them to get, you know, constipated, you know, get bloat or have a hard time digesting the pellets. You could feed them a couple times a day, but just be cautious again not to overfeed the pellets. You can feed a good flake. Crow Flakes by Extreme is really good. And again, a pinch. You know, you don't want to overfeed your beta. They're going to constantly come up. They're going to act like they're starving, and they're not. They're liars. They are just trying to get attention. So don't overfeed them. I like to use a spirulina flake, preferably the Community Crave, because it has spirulina and krill in it. And I do that like every other day, every 2 to 3 days, because I'm not suggesting spirulina every day at all, but just a couple times a week. Doesn't hurt to get a little bit in there, help that digestive tract move along. The beta is going to want more of a high protein diet, not spirulina all the time. So don't do that. But feeding your beta twice a day, just a little bit twice a day is a good thing, or a regular amount once a day. And again, be cautious to not overfeed, because they do tend to get bloat. So be careful. I hope that's helped. I have a video out, so watch that. Because it's like, I want to tell you feed this much and this much twice a day, but if you're feeding twice a day, you're going to want to feed smaller amounts twice a day than what you would feed if you only fed once a day. I hope that makes sense, and I didn't like botch that.
Well said. Well done.
I'm doing a John Hudson and I'm rambling.
I love it, because then it saves my throat. That sounded weird. It saved my voice. Stephen P., it is indeed Stephen, and I'm relieved. And it's funny because somebody before him, and I don't want to scroll back because the chat skips all over, said, it is Stefan. And I'm like, oh no. But then Stephen himself said, Stephen, my brother's name is Stephen, but he spells it the Steven. But I've seen his best friend growing up, and I'm just going to say it because why wouldn't I say it? It's a very, very critical part of my life. I've talked in many, many times how I am 100% anti-drinker. I do not drink at all. Never really have been a drinker, and I don't even. It's just not something that I do. My brother's best friend growing up, his name was also was Stephen, and he spelled it Stephen. This was somebody that had a huge impact on me because when I was 12 years old, he died on graduation night drunk driving. So this is why I'm not a drinker, because of something that happened when I was 12 years old. So, and he spelled it that way. Two Stevens were best friends. It was really cool. But my brother has always gone by Steve his entire life, and the other one went by Stephen. He looked exactly like Tom Petty. But anyway, I'm glad that I'm saying that right. And then Matilda Harden chimed in again and said, hope it's okay for a trans female to be a member of your channel. Of course.
Yeah.
This is not the channel to be questioning that. We've got literally every race, every sexual orientation, everything in our family.
Absolutely.
We're all good. Don't even worry about it.
Michelle Kinsey said, the scooper in the new Extreme pellets has been extremely helpful. And I think that is a really cute little spoon. The only thing I don't like about that spoon is I think that it's too much.
It can be too much.
It can be too much, because I would hate for people to think, let me take that spoon and just put as much in it as possible. I feed like half of that spoon. I don't even fill it up all the way, because again, I don't want to cause bloat. The food is amazing. I highly recommend the Betta food, but I would not fill that spoon all the way up. That's all.
Particularly with the 1 millimeter pellets, that's a whole lot of food in that little scooper.
Well, it's the same. I mean, the bigger pellet it doesn't change. The spoon is the same size. I just think it's
the spoon's
too much,
the same size,
it's
but
too
I
much
think
food in the spoon.
Well, I don't disagree, but I'm saying with the 1 millimeter pellets, there's more pellets in there than with the 1.5s, and it is too much.
I think it's good. Now, if you were going to take half of it and give half in the morning, the other half at the end of the day, but at one time, I think it's a bit much.
It is, excuse me though, it is very cool.
It is cute.
Nobody else is doing that. And it's something that definitely sets it apart. It's very neat, and it's very easy. You don't have to, I mean, you get those little pellets and they stick to your fingers and then they drop all over the floor and stuff. It's cool to be able to do that. But just make sure you do the same trick. It's funny, we were talking about Tom Petty. I learned this from Tom Petty. When I make coffee in the morning, I have a scooper and I take the back of a knife and I level it off. And I learned that from a video saying that Tom Petty demanded that his personal chef make his coffee that way. So I was like, I'll try that. And it works. I would do that. You don't have to get a knife, but maybe just use your finger. You fill it up and just, you understand what I'm trying to say? So that it's not a mound over top of the spoon.
Yeah.
And then you should definitely
That's what I worry about, people thinking it's okay to do that. Oh,
yeah, and certainly don't be scooping it and scooping it and scooping it. I mean, unless you got a tank full of Betta fry that you're raising or something like that, then it'd be different. Mr. and Mrs. Morelia, what's your preference? Oh, I skipped Jeff H. I'm sorry. Thank you for pooping on us, Jeff H. What's your preference between Celestial Pearl Danios and Emerald Dwarf Rasboras? Similarities, differences? I'm not 100% familiar with the Emerald Dwarf Rasboras. What are the ones that you've got? You've got Ember Tetras, which kind of reminds me of those, but love Celestial Pearl Danios. Absolutely love those. We've got some right now. They are adorable. They are micro fish. They're like a grain of rice. They're just the cutest thing in the world. Having never kept the EDRs, we could call them that. That would sound like something hip to call them EDRs. I would imagine it's probably similar. But I couldn't tell you with confidence. I'm sorry. CPDs, though, awesome. Absolutely love those. They are adorable. If you have good vision, because they're so small, if you have good vision and you can make out those speckles and all of that, they're adorable. Love them.
I see Rico Stan is in the chat. I wanted to say nice live stream the other day. I caught that live stream, well, at least the end of it, with Rachel. So that was really cool. I watched some of the replay. You did a great job.
Rico Stan, I watched his with Ben. I saw a little bit of it with Rachel. But yeah, we're always lurking, y'all. We're
Oh.
always around.
I'm a lurker.
We got something going on. I'll have streams on in the background and stuff like that. It's a regular occurrence for
I
us.
try to say hi if I do. Sometimes I say hi, sometimes I don't, but I like to say hi.
I still maintain that every single time I see Rico Stan's avatar, I think about the Big Lebowski. I'm not saying you look like the Big Lebowski,
Yeah, I know
Rico
what
Stan.
you're talking about.
But when I see that avatar with the glasses, maybe he was trying to make himself look like, I don't know. But every single time I see that, I think about Big Lebowski. A&D Selection became a member. Welcome to the team. Daniken Aquatics says, Hawks are amazing. I love the VC10 and iBiters. I love all three of them. You're absolutely right, Kenny. They are amazing. The Compressiceps have been one of my favorites ever since I first started keeping African cichlids VC10s. Love them all. They're all amazing.
Oh, yeah.
I have never had a fully lit big Malawi hawk though. Never had one, and it bothers me. I got one a while back, bought it as a male, and it was not a male, and it unfortunately passed after like a year, but it was hanging in there. It was no problem. There wasn't any issues, but something went on. I don't even know what it was. Just kind of withered away. That was like one of my chances there to spend good money on a male, like, oh, it's going to blow up and it's going to be beautiful, and never really happened. So I was
that
upset.
was sad.
Yep. I love KG. It was miserable. You made her do the 3-letter word.
I know. Gosh. I hated every minute of it, too. I hated every minute of it. And I'm telling you, for the last couple of days, I've been feeling it. The pain has been miserable.
Stop it. What? Do you know what you're doing?
My hip. My hip yesterday. It hurt so bad I was walking funny to the restaurant and out. You saw me. You're like, why are you limping? I was like, 'cause you made me run.
Oh, the ways I could make this conversation inappropriate. It's just fun. Thanks a lot. I love KFG. KFG. What am I doing? See, you got me all flustered. Thank you. I love KG. I still hope that KG is like something other than us.
Kevin Green?
Kevin Green or Kevin Garnett. How about that? Are you ready? Okay, Jeff H.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I was actually going to talk about something else, to be honest.
Do it.
Okay, so I decided, this is so off topic, but I decided to start doing the tubs, the summer tubbing thing. I've never done it. And I got my phone and I started doing kind of like, would you call it a vlog? I just do that sometimes.
Sure.
And just start recording what I'm doing. And I thought, well, let me do this. It's fun. Show people what I'm doing behind the scenes. And we'll just make it a members only video. And I went shopping to get pond plants and all that. And I recorded it. And to me, it's not a big deal to do like a regular video on the channel for, because you're not going to learn anything from me, because I'm kind of going on the fly with this and learning from other people, watching other people's YouTube videos. I even called Bob and was like, what's that thing called again that you put in the tub? You know, I couldn't remember, and I was out in Fredericksburg and I was going to stop somewhere and pick it up, and he's like, well, you can only get it on Amazon. And it was the what do you call it? The
solar
fountain. And I was like, well, all right. So to help Bob out, I went on his video and I went under his link and I got it through Amazon. And anyways, it's an awesome little fountain. I have it out there now and it's doing amazing. But if you don't know what I'm talking about, go watch that video that he did last year. I don't know if Danny was in it or not, but they have some summer tubs together too. But anyways, I'm just doing little bits of things with it just to share for members, so you can see what I do other than true or false videos and top 10 videos. And it's definitely not edited very well either.
And it's not that we just put out junk for members, but it's one of those things
It's all
that
natural.
we just wouldn't have enough material to actually manufacture a full video out of it. And like you said, it's not like we can educate people
No,
with it.
it's me
So-
being educated by other people, basically.
and trying things out. You and I are both people that we learn by experience. We just dive in and figure things out, and then we hurt our knees and hips, and then it's all over. But I'm sorry, I just had to throw that in there. Jeff H. Lisa just wanted to let you know you made Ellen's day with your compliment on her first
Aw.
scape.
It was such a cute skate.
Thank you so much for responding. Patiently awaiting another blue crown tail. You two rock. Thanks again for West Virginia.
Aw, you're welcome. It really is a cute scape. And I had looked on Facebook and I couldn't find it when you told me about it. So when you sent me the picture, I was just tickled because it really has a little white picket fence going around it. It's super cute.
Oh, that's cute. This is a serious question here. Brandon Wood asks, HOB, is it hang on back or hang off back? This is a serious topic. By the way, Lisa, you're looking great. Hashtag goals.
Thank you.
Thanks for all the compliments to me tonight, folks. I'm joking. I don't need compliments. I'm making a joke, and it didn't work because you're sitting there looking at me weird. I was just trying to be funny.
Oh, we'll talk about it in a minute.
I, Brandon, have always, since the time I first started keeping fish, I have always called them hang on back, not hang off back.
I've only heard them as hang on the back too.
Yeah. I don't know that is the official thing. I mean, I think it is, but we also say beta. You know? You say
Well-
Placo. I mean, but to me, it makes the most sense. But if you think about it, the filter is hanging on the back, but it's also hanging off the back. So I think either one of them can apply.
But if you think about it, SOB isn't on or off.
Yeah,
O could be anything.
it's yeah, sure. That's okay. But no, I mean, I'm not telling you that it is a fact. It is hang on back. I'm just telling you that's what I've always said.
Yeah. I think it is.
Adam became a member. Lots of new member tonight. Very exciting. Xanadu. Hashtag fish tank therapy saved / is still saving my life. Appreciate
Aw.
everything you both do. Best couple live stream. Plus one of the best in general. That is very,
Aw,
very
thank
sweet.
you. That is super sweet.
I
love that name too.
It is fun, and it's just so fun to be able to say doo-doo. It's always fun to be able to say that. Yeah, I mean, this is exactly why I wanted to do that topic on it. I was working on it for a long time. Didn't even have an offer to do a talk or anything like that. I was just working on it for me personally. And then I was talking to Sean Hale from Aquashella, and I said, hey, I've got this idea. If you think, if you need a speaker, let me know. And then and then we had to change it when it came to you getting involved.
I know.
But that wasn't
mean-
my call. That I love that idea. I would have always loved for you to be into it with me, but it was Aquashella that convinced you to do that, not me.
Somebody has to fan you
And feed me grapes.
and feed you grapes.
Mark Sterlson became a member. Welcome to the team. Junk, have you done this to me before? And I feel horrible because it's a massive super chat, $20.
Aw.
JunQ13. That's how I'm going to say it. And I really do hope that I'm saying it right. There's nothing attached to it. It's just wanted probably to hear me mispronounce the name.
That's awesome.
Thank you so much for that. That's very, very sweet.
Aw.
Squall Chi and Zachary Tremos also became members. This is a crazy night for members. Wow. Whenever you're ready, you let me know.
I am.
Yeah. Tracy Walker with a $2 game over emoji probably has something to do with the whole 3-letter word thing. Thinking it probably had something to do with that.
Oh.
I love KFG says, Lisa, we are talking about different 3-letter words. Here we go. It's still happening now. Fishy Biz, Lisa walking funny because of Drew. That is true though, but it's the word run.
Run.
But yeah, I think people are going to need to make sure they give you crap for that for a long time.
I'm so sorry.
Tara Jackson and Jay Fuller also became members. This is exciting. How about all of this? Max, I'm sorry. That name, I'm just tired of saying names wrong. Hey guys, how much fish is good for a 40-gallon community? Also, what are the perks of being a member, and what is your worst fish experience? Geez, you think you get to ask 5 questions? No, you can ask as many as you want. How many okay, listen, Max, I'm going to be as politically correct as I possibly can be. There is absolutely no possible way for me to answer how many fish is good for a 40-gallon tank, because I don't know anything about the tank. I don't know anything about the fish. I don't know anything about your filtration, your maintenance habits, how much you're feeding. I don't know any of those things. So it makes it very difficult to just blindly say, oh, you can put 24 fish in there. I mean, that, I can't do that. You can't get me in trouble like that. Are there certain fish that you could put 24 of in a 40-gallon breeder? Sure, there are. But you got to be, well, yeah. But there's also we were talking about CPDs earlier. We're talking about ember tetras, and there's a lot of small fish, neon cardinal tetras. You could easily have 24 in a 40-gallon tank. As long as your maintenance is on point, your filtration is good, your habits are good, then it shouldn't be all that bad. What are the perks of being a member? All of the standard YouTube things. You get the emojis, you get your name in green. I know that doesn't mean a whole lot. You get the badges. We're also putting out weekly, sometimes twice a week videos that are exclusively for members, asking or answering direct questions from the members. And this last week's one that I did was a story about Tim Allen, and that was fun. Mm-hmm. So those are only available to members. And then we're going to be doing things like the talk at Aquashella. We're going to hopefully be able to share with members. We're probably going to put out a lot of members content at Aquashella, because we're just going to turn on the phone and be like, hey, this is what's happening. Look, this guy wants to beat me up, but Drew's behind me and he's going to protect me. There's all these things that are going to be going on. Drew is Fishy Biz, by the way. Yeah, that's the perks of it. And worst fish experience, I mean, it has to be closing our fish store.
Yeah. Oh, there was a fuzzy thing.
It has to be that.
That
Starting
was,
a fish business and failing.
Yeah.
That was it. We're back on track now, and we're happier than ever, but that was rough.
Yeah, that sucked. That's...
You ready?
Okay. Will Walker asked, how many albino corridoras should you keep together? I'm not like an expert at corridoras, but I would treat them the same as any other corridor and have about 6 together, right?
Oh yeah.
Because they like to school around and stuff, and
that would be ideal.
Yeah. I mean, having less than that might not be as that might not make them as happy, is what I'm trying to say, because they like to hang out and be buddies and stuff. And I'd say 6 or more, depending on what size tank you have. I don't want to, say, yeah, go ahead and throw 6 of them in a 5-gallon, because you want to make sure you have the right size tank. So, and then, I don't know, I think it's pretty cool having corys down at the bottom and then having some fish, that like to swim in the middle and up top. You can have a cute little, really cute tank.
I'm laughing at Fishy Biz's comment. I'm sorry. Eladio Marquez says we need another tool video every week. You would think at some point we would learn that we got to do what the people want. I got to tell you something funny, and I wanted to do this so bad, and every single YouTuber that I asked about it looked at me like I was an idiot. Every single one of them. For the Aquatic Experience 2018, I wanted to bring a suit and wear a suit. I think I would have to buy a new one because the one I have is probably too small for me now. I wanted to wear a suit and I wanted to walk around Aquashella and interview people, YouTubers, in the same vein as like a Ron Burgundy, where I'm this arrogant jerk, like, you are so blessed for being able to talk to me right now, that kind of a guy. And I was going to have so much fun with it. I had all these pre-planned things that I was going to do, and it was going to be so much fun. And I am not kidding you. Every YouTuber I approached was like, okay. So I didn't even do it. I was like, no, forget about it. The reason why I bring that up, it kind of would be fun to put the white shirt on and the red Nationals hat on backwards and walk around Aquashella and do that. I think that'd be a lot of fun. But the problem is, I think a lot of people would look at me like I was insane. I think there'd be so many people, because our channel was a lot smaller when we put that out. And I loved it. Trust me, I loved it. I know a lot of people watched it, but a lot of people also didn't. And a lot of people have never heard anything about it. So I'd be walking around looking like that, and there'd be people that would be like, what happened to John? Is this what he's like in person?
Poor Lisa.
Yeah.
Because I wouldn't walk around with you. I'd be like,
yeah.
Yeah.
But on that note, I'm gonna also confess a little something here to Eladio. When I first read that message, I immediately thought about the band Tool. That's how my brain works. I immediately thought of Maynard James Keenan and Danny Carey and all of those guys. But anyway.
Oh. Stephanie Kenzierski, have you ever broken a big aquarium? Oh, I lost it. Now I don't even have connection.
Oh, boy.
Do you have connection?
As far as I know.
Okay, I will fix this in a second. But she asked if we've ever broken an aquarium.
We haven't, but we've been at a place where one was broken.
Yeah.
And
I'm back.
It's worthy of telling the story because it's been a very long time. When we had our shop, we had a friend that bought a large custom aquarium.
You made
don't
the
think,
stand.
yeah, I know, but I don't think it was Custom Aquariums that made it. I think it was Glass Cages. No, that's the same company. What's that place? No, it's not the same company. I don't think it was Custom Aquariums, but it was a different company. It doesn't matter. They had the tank delivered to our shop, and the reason why they did that is because I built a stand for it for them. And it was a beautiful stand. I was so proud of it. So when they came to pick up the stand and pick up the tank, we went with them. You were with me, weren't you?
No.
Oh, it was just me?
I think I was actually working in the fish store because we
No,
didn't
it was
have
at night. It was at night when I went down there.
I was probably still working.
It was Sunday after we closed.
Yeah, I did water changes every day in the fish store. They had to eat every day.
Anyway, I went down there with them. They took it down there in my truck, and they had a couple of big guys there. I mean, and these guys were monsters. They were big dudes. And then they had a little guy. This little guy was 5'3", but he was one of those guys that you could look at and you could just tell was as strong as an ox. You could just tell. Big, strong guy. The other guy was like the big show. I mean, he was just a beast. And we got there, and I had told him before we even left, I was like, y'all, look, my back, I am just recovering from this thing I had with my back. I cannot help you carry this. They were like, no problem, we got it covered. So go down there, park it in his driveway, and they were going to be putting the tank. I know this sounds weird, but it was going like right on the side of their kitchen. It wasn't actually in their kitchen, but it was right beside the kitchen. The kitchen was right inside the garage door. So they had to carry the tank from my truck through the garage, up 3 stairs, and then into the kitchen, and that's where it was. So everybody took the stand in, no problems. Stand was pretty daggone heavy. And then it came time for carrying the tank.
Doors.
They had these 2 guys carry this tank. It was a 240-gallon tank, no suction cups, just hands underneath the tank. And they were carrying it in, and they had a rug in the kitchen, in the garage. It was just a rug. I don't know. It was a rug sitting in the garage.
What color?
I think it was black.
Was it fluffy?
No. It was kind of like this one.
Oh.
Just a rug in the garage.
Was it an area rug
Will
or
you
like
stop
a
it?
runner?
What do you want me to call and get the model number for you so you can get one? So when they were coming in, the big giant guy was walking backwards with this. By the way, 4 other dudes standing there watching them. I'm just saying. But they were carrying it in. The little guy was walking forward with the tank. The little guy, and I'm not trying to say this was his fault. I mean, things happen and it is what it is. He tripped on the rug, and this brand new, custom made 240-gallon tank was then in a million pieces.
I'm so glad I wasn't there for that.
I was not in the room
sad
when it happened. I was actually in the kitchen waiting for them to come in, and I was going to grab the hoses and do all of these things. And I heard it, and it sounded like a shotgun went off. It was so loud, and I was terrified because I was like, I'm going to walk out there and there's going to be somebody with their leg cut off or their arm cut off. Thankfully, there were 0 injuries. They did the smart thing. Once it started going, they let it go, which is exactly what they should have done. And yeah, that was very sad to see. And I'm glad I didn't have a hand on that tank because the look on my friend's face after that happened was he was
And
stunned.
they're so nice.
It was like a
Awesome people.
$2,300 tank or something like that. And there's no warranties for that kind of stuff. When you drop an aquarium, that's on you. And that sucks.
Yeah.
So I felt horrible. He actually sent me a picture the next day. The tank broke badly. It broke like beyond repair. But there was like 3 or 4 panels that were fine. And I was telling him, I was like, look, you know,
Use them
we
as
can
lids for another tank.
Well, yeah, and we can save this panel and that panel. I think the 2 sides and the front were okay. The back panel was shattered, and then the bottom panel was broken. And I was like, you know, maybe you can just order the panels and we can take this apart and we can reglue it. And he was like, yeah, maybe I'll do that. He sent me a picture the next day, and he had just taken a sledgehammer to it, and it was quite literally in a million pieces on the floor. And I was like, well, I guess we're not fixing that one. So, yeah, have not broken one ourselves, but except for all the tanks that we threw away, which was kind of fun throwing them in the dumpster and breaking them. But we won't talk about that.
We took a lot of aggression out as far as having to shut the store down. We
did indeed.
We destroyed so many fish tanks. 10s and 20s, mainly 10s.
No, they were 20 longs.
Yeah.
Most of them were 20 longs.
Like dozens.
And they were
took them and went to the dump and just threw them in there and watched them go into a zillion million pieces.
That was a good way to let off frustration, that's for sure.
It was.
Christine Richardson, yay for summer tubbing. And John, you look like The Rock.
Oh, I love The Rock.
She does. So you have, Christine, you've made my day. Thank you. The Rock is one of the coolest people on planet Earth. I've met him.
Yeah.
He said, how you doing to me. It's not like we're friends, but I did meet him at the Capitol building when I was a police officer up there. He was up there doing a something the vote thing, wrestlers campaigning for voting, and met him up there for about 2 seconds. And then I met another guy, which I actually talked to quite a bit. Oh boy, his name escapes me now. Shame on me, because he's like a legend in the wrestling world. The guy with the sock, any wrestling fan, you'll know who I'm talking about. The guy with the sock. I talked to that guy for a long time. The Rock was like a handshake, how you doing? And that was cool enough for me. He had hair then. But yeah, to say I look like The Rock, first of all, that's a huge compliment. It's also ridiculous, but it also made my day. Thank you.
Oh my goodness. Matilda Harden said, Stevie Nicks is one of my favorite singers. She's my favorite.
You now have a new best friend.
Yes. She is my favorite. And
Tell him what I bought you for your birthday. Go ahead.
yeah.
Come on, make me look good now.
A few years ago, John bought me Fleetwood Mac tickets, and they were really good seats. And yeah, I think Stevie Nicks waved to me. No, I'm just kidding. But it was awesome to see her in person, all of them. And It's so funny because I took a bunch of pictures, and Mick Fleetwood, I took a picture of him, and he reminds me of Hans, and I sent it to Hans, and he uses that picture as his avatar.
He reminds
For Facebook.
everyone of Hans.
So he took that picture and put it up in place of his own picture on Facebook.
Yeah, if you look at Hans on Facebook, if you see the picture, it looks like it's him like this,
Yeah.
which you can't see me, but he's got his arms like this.
Yeah.
But it's not. It's Mick Fleetwood.
And I took that picture.
BHLO80830. Here you go, sir and madam and ma'am. These videos are so worth it. Thank you
Aw,
so
that's
much
so
for that.
sweet.
That is very nice of you. We try. 503 Aquatics researching for a subtropical fish room, 65 to 70 degrees. Any recommendations? There's quite a few fish that will do well in that kind of a temperature. We are certainly not specialists in that. I mean, obviously the first thing I think about is goldfish and Danios and white clouds and things like that. I think those are probably the three fish that everyone will say first when you say cold water fish. But I absolutely love all three of those. And I picture just like a goldfish fish room with all the different types of fancy goldfish and stuff like that. How amazing would that be? A couple of tanks with good schools of Danios and white clouds for all that activity and stuff like that. Let you in on a little secret. White clouds are one of my favorite fish. I love them. I've got like 12 of them right there. You can't see them, but they're right there. And I absolutely adore those fish. They're golden white clouds, and I absolutely adore them.
They're pretty cool.
Fishy Biz, oh boy, I wonder what this is going to say. Bringing Last Dragon and Electric Boogaloo. Nice. St. Louis Wings, excited about that. Bring some barbecue too. Party Room Biz, no slumber though. Movie over, gotta go. Hey, I mean, if we watch Last Dragon and Electric Boogaloo, when they're over, there ain't no reason to stay. So we'll be out of there by then. There's no way I'm going to convince Lisa to watch those movies.
I'll just go back in the hotel room and take a hot bubble bath or something.
Drew, you want to see a grown man cry? Breaking One, when Turbo has his scene with the broom, forget about it. I'm going to lose it. I'm going to be like, did you see what he did with that broom? It was so amazing.
Oh my gosh, I can't be there for that. I cannot be there for
That
that.
scene was very impactful on my childhood. I wanted so bad to be a break dancer. I just don't know how to break dance. Chuck Tornetta, what should I do if my guppies have been pregnant forever? One had babies, but two haven't. If constipated, what should I do? No salt because there's shrimp in the tank. You two rule.
Sometimes guppies won't have their babies if they're feeling scared, stressed out. You know, maybe they're just not feeling comfortable in the tank to let them out.
We've had quite a few guppies that were just always fat.
Yeah.
Females.
Yeah.
And they were always fine. I mean, but
I mean,
you could try
putting more stuff in there to make them feel less stress. Like
get them in the mood. Some Barry White.
the babies are already there.
Some
They're just
Luther Vandross.
they're trying to get them out, not make them.
Everybody's like, he's going to say Marvin Gaye next. Nope. I'm going to say Luther Vandross.
Anyways,
Go ahead.
guppy grass. Some
Some
other
Ralph Tresvant.
some other kind of plants for them to go in and let them out.
Some Otis Redding. These arms of mine, forget about it. Have you seen the scene in Roadhouse? Come on. That'll get anybody going. I mean, I'm just saying. You put on some Otis Redding, some things are going to happen. That's all I'm saying. You're talking about three-letter words all night long. It's past 9 o'clock at night. We can talk about whatever we want.
Okay.
There's also the idea of if they are constipated, giving them some foods that could possibly loosen them up a little bit. Some
But
foods.
they might not be constipated. They might just need to let the babies out.
Well, I'm just saying. I mean, they're not going to hold them in there forever.
Some do, and then they die.
Well, then put some Ralph Tresvant on, and then you'll be all right. I'm going to get a call from Drew tonight. He's going to be like, dude, did you really say Ralph Tresvant? Like, I know Drew. I know what the guy's going to do. Gino de Jesus. Hi, sorry for earlier. I'm resealing. What happened earlier? I'm resealing a tank, and there is so many do's and don'ts for picking the sealant. Could you help me with what to use? Maybe. Thank you. What are you laughing at?
Because Larry Steele said, don't forget the wine, John. Thanks.
You already got the cup over there. So, I mean, I don't have to forget nothing.
You are so sleeping on the couch tonight.
Whatever. So listen, Gino, I'm going to be honest with you. So many people have scared me about the different silicones and stuff like that I've just started ordering mine from aquarium manufacturers. Last time I had a little spot in my 240 downstairs that I was afraid might be a problem down the road. It never leaked or anything like that, but it was just concerning me. And so I resealed one corner of that tank, and I called up Custom Aquariums and I was like, hey, how much for a tube of the silicone that you all use? And fortunately, I have a relationship with them, and they're very good to me, and they went ahead and sent me one. I'm very lucky. What can I say? So that's what I used there. I don't know. I'm one of those people, I'd rather spend a couple extra dollars to get something I absolutely know is right rather than taking the risk. And there's a couple of brands that sell, like I think API has some, I think there's other ones, I don't know. But, whether you go with the GE1, GE2 and all of that kind of stuff, I've used both and never had any problems back in the day. But I just order it from manufacturers now. This way I know for sure. I don't like to take any chances. I'm too old for that. And so that's what I do. Brandon Woods, sorry, John, you're looking very 3-letter wordy too.
You're looking runny.
I thank you, Brandon. Lots of ways that could go. And you could say I look like AS. Anyway,
Oh my
but thank you for
goodness.
that. Junkie 13 again, and I'm sure I'm saying the name right. You are both amazing. You taught me to cycle a tank. I now have 4 tanks.
Wow,
But to be
that's
fair,
awesome.
you warned me of this. One would not be enough. Just want to say thank you for being you. Thank you so much for that. And if you were trying to put that in on the first one and it didn't go through, and then you did it again, also with $20 again, wow, that is very, very generous of you. And I feel bad because you had to do that twice. Maybe you meant to do that. I don't know, but that is very, very sweet of you. Thank you so much. And that is, I'm being honest with you. People have said I look like The Rock, which again, compliment, but ridiculous. That is as good a compliment as we can get because that's what we tried to do. That's what we're all about. People make fun of us for it, and it's fine. People make fun of us for reading off of scripts and all of it. Fine. I don't care. That is why we do what we do. And so thank you for reassuring us that we're doing the right thing. Thank you so much for that. Whenever you want to jump in, you go ahead.
Actually, I wanted to talk about my poll yesterday. I did my poll like I do every Wednesday. And this one was about acclimating. And it was an interesting poll. And it's turned out to be what I expected, honestly. And the comments were great too. I really liked those. But the poll was, how long do you acclimate your new fish, not fish.
We're fish people.
How long do you acclimate your new fish, snail, shrimp, or other aquatic friends? And the first, well, I'll just go ahead and list what the answers to choose could be. 10 minutes, at least 20 to 30 minutes. I don't acclimate. What does acclimate mean? And then, of course, other. And the top one is what I kind of expected, at least 20 to 30 minutes. And then it was 10 minutes. And then it was, I don't acclimate, other, and then what does acclimate mean? Wow. But there were, I thought I'd go ahead and just read a couple comments because I think they're interesting. And I love it when people comment. I like how everybody kind of helps each other out too in the comment section. There's not too much like drama or anything. Most people do pretty good. But Swati JK said, after this poll, your quote would be, "I trained them well. I'm so proud." And that's so true because, you know, I'd say 30 minutes is good for most freshwater fish. I didn't say freshwater or saltwater. I wasn't very specific, but I know that certain fish take longer and, you know, some people do their acclimation a little differently than others. Hilltop Tank said, of course it depends on the fish or creature you are introducing, which is very true. Like I said, I didn't, you know, specify exactly, but let's see. Willie Jacobs said, floating for at least 15 minutes has always worked for me. And you know what? Not everyone does everything the same way, but again, I think it's awesome that, you know, you guys put the comments in there, you help each other out, we're all learning together. Not everything that is by the book works for everybody, and I mean, sometimes it does, but I think that's what fish keeping is about a lot of times, is learning from each other's experiences. I know that, like with us, we've learned.
We're always
from
learning.
our mistakes.
I mean, that's kind of why this is an appealing hobby. It's not something you're ever going to master. I mean, you're always going to be learning something. The day that you stop learning something is the day you're going to start the descent. That's the way I look at it. So,
I mean, I think that I should have been a little bit more clear, but as far as learning from the book, but I like to learn from the book too. People that actually write them and go out and do the research and stuff. I think it's important. Thankfully,
Christine Richardson, a member of ours, cleared it up. It is Mick Foley. Yes, thank you. That is, when I met him, he was Mankind, and he was there in the Mankind getup. The Rock wasn't, because, you know, The Rock would come out practically naked back then. This was back in the, do you smell what The Rock is cooking? It was back in those days. Where he had hair and he was dressed just kind of normal, and he was not 6'2" when I met him. But anyway, Mick Foley was wearing the button-down shirt with the tie and all of that like he would. He didn't have the mask on, but anyway, I actually spoke to him for quite a bit. It was kind of weird because everybody was kind of flocking to The Rock, and so I went to him and I was like, what's up, dude? And talked to him for a little bit. Super, super cool guy to talk to. Thank you, Christine, because that was going to drive me crazy. Shame on me for not remembering. And then, of course, Paul had to throw in there that I look like Bruce Willis. And that one doesn't bother me either, especially if you talk about the John McClane days. But anyway, A&D Selection. Hi, guys. Big fan. And finally, a member. I was thinking of the first fish that got me in the hobby. It was a glass catfish, and I loved them. Any tips on keeping them? I would love to get 6 of them.
They're really cool fish, and we had them at the fish store, but I honestly don't remember much about them.
Yeah, see, that's the problem.
It was so long ago.
There are so many people that are making YouTube videos that have had every single fish you could ever have. We are not those people. We've had a lot of different stuff. There's not a whole lot I could tell you about them other than they're super cool. I think they are awesome. Where was it? I did something where I had asked, I don't think it was on a poll. It might have been to channel members. I'm not sure. But I had asked what was it? The worst fish for something or somebody said those, like they're bad, like people shouldn't get them. And I was kind of like, what? Like they don't get huge. They're not like red tail catfish. Why would anybody not like those? I think they're absolutely awesome. And I think there's a lot of people that have gotten into this hobby because of those, because they're just so unique. My instinct would tell me you would take care of them as if you would any other kind of catfish. Clean water, neutral pH. That's like as far as I could tell you, and I'm sorry. But unfortunately, we're not one of those channels where you could ask us about any fish that's ever been in the hobby, and we're going to be able to give you educated advice on those. And I don't want to make stuff up, so I'm sorry. But, I'd just like to tell you what I know by my experiences, and I hope that's enough. But anyway, Boss, thank you so much for that, A&D, by the way. Boss Moves Aquatics, love your guys' video, new to fish hobby. Thanks for all the advice you guys provide. You are very, very welcome. Once again, that's the best that's the comment of the day right there. I love those because that's what we do. Amanda, all right, I'm going to get it. Mastrangelo. Probably wrong, but I tried. Give me some credit for trying. Love the channel. Question for Lisa. I ordered a copper rosetail male and copper female. Oh. I know they are going to be great. What would you name them? You ordered them from us? Did she order them from us?
I don't.
Do we have a copper rosetail male? I don't think we do. Oh, we do?
We have copper, yeah.
Okay. Well, what would you name them?
Oh, goodness.
You can't go with like the Bonnie and Clyde, of course. You can't.
Oh, He-Man and She-Ra. Love them. He-Man and She-Ra.
All right. That works. That's fine with me.
Okay.
You have to admit, though, people will make fun of her. What was He-Man's name? Prince Andrew. What Prince? Come on, chat. Somebody help me out here. Prince. Daggone it. I need somebody to help me with this one because it's. How dare I not know?
I can't believe I don't remember.
Prince. Oh, that's going to drive me crazy. I'm not gonna sit here and just sit here with dead air. But
all I know is he was the best looking cartoon in the 80s. As far as cartoon guys go to a little girl.
Yeah, and that's not weird at all. Prince Adam, yeah, but Prince Adam, what? Like, didn't he have a last name, Prince Adam something? Or did he just say, was it just Prince Adam? Adam of Eternia. Maybe that's what I used to go to my friend's house every single day and watch that because we didn't have cable because,
And you thought She-Ra was the hottest female girl, right? For cartoons.
I thought She-Ra was pretty hot.
And Gem. Definitely Gem.
I never watched Gem. You talk about Gem all the time.
Gem.
I was a boy.
I watch Gem on YouTube just to go on and watch stuff sometimes. It's so much fun.
Well, yeah. I never watched Gem. Okay. You asked me last night, did you ever watch Gem and did you ever watch Care Bears? I liked Care Bears back then. Back then, okay. I mean, I do watch Gem sometimes still, but I will watch a cartoon. I just got done watching Invincible. Now that's a cartoon made for grown-ups. But I love a good cartoon. I loved Thundercats. I loved He-Man. I loved G.I. Joe. I loved Transformers. Forget about it. I loved cartoons back then. But I never watched I never watched Gem, and I never watched Care Bears because I was a boy and I was like 12 at the time, or 11, or something, maybe 10. I don't know. It doesn't matter though. I still watched He-Man and G.I. Joe. Did you watch Thundercats? Heck yeah, I watched Thundercats. Thundercats was awesome. Loved that. I just absolutely loved that show. Snarf, snarf. Boss Moves Aquatics came in again with another 20 spot. Good grief, spoiling us tonight. Just to say I have MTS because of you guys. We're sorry. I'd like to apologize to your significant other or spouse or whoever it is. Maybe your mom, we don't know you, so I don't know your situation, but whoever it is that you have in your life, I'd like to apologize to them because we have probably filled your home with aquariums. Somebody said Tom and Jerry. Tom and Jerry is one of the best ever. Yes. I don't care what anybody says. Yes. I mean, I've been up watching those cartoons on YouTube before at 2:00 in the morning. I have yet to watch the movie. Did you know there's a new movie out, Tom and Jerry?
No.
And it's not like cartoon. It's like animated, like Toy Story kind of thing. At least I think that's what it looks like. I want to watch that.
I wonder who plays the cat.
I don't know, but I love me some Tom and Jerry. Love them, love them, love them. There was actually a time where I entertained the idea of a Tom and Jerry tattoo. I'm not kidding you either. I did. Thankfully, my ex at the time would not allow tattoos. So, but you do.
Yeah, and I told you to go bald.
This is how lucky I am, because when I met her, I was allowed to do all the things that I always wanted to do. My ex didn't want me to shave my head because she said it would make me look old.
And what did I say? I said, bald makes you look runny.
I like it. I'll keep that. Jesse Brenneman, I appreciate all that you both do. You helped me to decide to build my Mbuna tank. Have you ever made your own food? Yes.
I did.
I did too.
I did better, though, remember? Because
Well-
they ate it.
Well, I don't think we were together when I made my food.
I
is
was
what I'm
with
saying.
you, and you did a terrible job because you used that gelatin.
Right. Yeah.
And you
right.
ruined the mixer. Yeah.
I didn't use a
It
mixer.
could never be used again because you ruined it and it smelled shrimpy and fishy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Voltron. Yes. Of course I watched that.
Changing the subject.
But yeah, I just saw that Voltron. I mean, there's so many good cartoons back then. I just don't even know. You know, they just don't make them anymore. They don't make good cartoons
Are
anymore.
you going
It's
to
all
talk about
Wiggles
the
and-
food?
Yeah. I made food and it was a total fail. You can't say that you've made food, because what you did
I made
was
it.
you took several fish foods and mixed them together. That's not making
No,
food.
I didn't. I ground up the vegetables. I even used baby food peas. And I did put some flake in there. And I mixed it all up. And I froze it. And I broke it off into little pieces. And the Mbunas ate it all up. I had zucchini. There was carrots. Like shaved real fine. And like to the point that it was almost mushy too. All kinds of stuff. And I used a chopper and I chopped it up. And I used the peas to help, hold it together. And yeah, I did. And they loved it.
So there's your answer then. If you guys want a really cool fish that can be housed with Oscars or green tears, fire eels. Such a fun pet. Hand feed, long lifespan. They recognize you, so fun. That's what Evan Rifkin had. And
yeah.
we were like, oh,
That
yeah.
thing was so cool. Is the video still up on the members?
Yes.
Oh.
I never took those down. I have been thinking about... this tank behind me is one of my favorite things in the world. I absolutely love it so much. I'm thinking I want to add some more fish to it, though. I've been after the larger Oscars. Perfect world, there would be 6 Oscars in there. I just don't know where I'm going to find the other Oscars. Fire eels, that's a really cool idea, or one fire eel. I've thought about bikers. I call them bikers, bishers, whatever you want to call them. I've thought about those because they're really cool too. If you watched the video that I did down at my buddy Rama's shop, Schools of Fish, where I showed that absolutely gorgeous red pike cichlid, thought about bringing that one home with me.
That's nice. And I even told you could.
I know. I love Rama to death. He just wanted a little too much money for that. And I didn't want to start
I think
trying
it was
to...
worth it, though.
I'm not saying it's not worth it. I'm not saying he was ripping anybody off. I'm just wasn't ready to put down that kind of cash on that fish. But that would have been amazing. But another thing I've thought about is green terrors, maybe adding, because green terrors are magnificent when they're grown. Oh,
No, they're gorgeous.
I've always loved them. I've had them in the past. I love those fish so much. I've thought about it. It's just so risky right now, though, because they're all happy. They're all fine. Nobody's hurting each other. They're getting along fine. That could change in a heartbeat. I know that. But I want to add something else. And I feel like the bikers or something like that, I don't think it would be an issue at all. They're going to be down at the bottom. I don't know. We'll have to see. I'm going to get something else in there. It might be green tears, might be a fire eel. I don't know. But those fire eels are daggone cool. I gotta agree with you there.
I think the coolest one though was his.
The what?
The coolest one
is the fire eels.
Yeah.
And the pikes. The pikes are really cool too. All right, let me get through these real quick because we got to get off of here. It's already 9:36. Melissa Jeswald Crush says hi. Thank you, Melissa. You are a mod now, by the way, and you were already getting to work. Like before the stream even started, I saw you in there working. Thank you so much for that. Burn Garden. John, you outkicked your coverage when you got Lisa. Yeah, we know that. I know that.
Aww.
I'm reminded every day about that. Believe me. I'm a lucky guy. I don't know what you want me to say. Who was the bad guy in She-Ra?
Oh gosh, I was.
Don't say Skeletor.
I know.
Don't do it. What do you think on that? Pirate Kraken.
Are
all Danios sturdy or are some more sensible? I think you meant sensitive there. Every single Danio I've ever had has been almost like a rock.
Yeah.
Like they're invincible. Great cartoon, by the way. Yeah, you can't go wrong with any of them. In my experience, you could try to kill them and you'll have a hard time. I'm not saying you should, but yeah, they're awesome. Love them all. The gold line's probably my favorite. Hard to find, but amazing, amazing fish. Michelle Kinsey, because you like He-Man and She-Ra.
Thank you.
And Ginger Graves. I'm sorry, Ginger. Geez, you didn't make me do that. That just happened. Thanks for the company on my hour-plus commute home.
Aww.
Your betas are doing great.
Yay! It's good to see you on here, Ginger.
Absolutely. And then this is going to be, we're going to have to wrap it up here. A&D selection again. Thank you. I appreciate your honesty. Keep it up, guys. Pretty sure that was for the question that I was not able to answer. So thank you for sticking around and being patient with us. We try, but you know what? I am not going to act like an expert of something that I am not an expert of.
Right.
I think there's a few things that I am an expert at. Furniture repair, cabinet making, wood finishing, wood turning.
Oh.
I could keep going. It all involves woodworking. None of it involves fish. As much as I love fish, and as long as I've been doing it, and as confident as I am in this hobby, I'm not going to tell you that I'm the smartest person out there. I'm not going to tell you that I'm an expert. You will never hear that out of me. And I think you probably feel the same way. So.
Well, the thing is, as far as fish keeping goes, you are the person that taught me probably 75% of what I know. And then I learned by the rest of it by just doing research and getting books and reading and looking at old magazines and new magazines. And I love the research part of it, but you taught me the basics. So you're pretty good at what you do. So, and you're a great editor. You are top notch at editing videos, especially mine.
Take a lot of pride in my editing. That's my hobby now, is the editing thing. Thank you for recognizing that. I appreciate it. So listen, we've got to sign off. We're already 10 minutes over, and I apologize about stepping on other people's toes.
There's a super chat.
We'll get it. I don't have mine pulled up anymore.
Is it Jungu13 with the $20 super chat? Wow.
Jeez.
So sorry to ask. I'm assuming neon tetras. Neon tetras, spots on nose, tail finish shoes. I have quarantine medicate. Now, I'm thinking like spots on nose. Damage. I'm thinking ick, maybe on the tail.
I mean, if white spots could be, sure.
I think white spots, I think ick, but I don't know because I haven't seen them. But quarantine, yes. And you know what? If depending on how bad it is, if I would just try like upping the temperature a few more degrees, depending on what it already is. Put it up to like 83, 84. Add some aquarium salt. Again, if they're quarantined to a tank by themselves, you know, you don't want to just throw stuff in there and do something if other fish don't need it, or if you have shrimp and all that. But yeah, go ahead, quarantine them. Up that temperature, add aquarium salt. If you don't notice it starting to go away, then maybe get something like Fix-It or the API
Super Cure.
Super Cure, and
Ick-X.
follow
There's a bunch of
the
them.
directions that's, you know, on the medication. But it sounds like ick, I think. You know, I mean, I automatically think ick with white spots. But again,
When you say white spots,
yeah,
it's like, automatic.
I don't know. I haven't seen your fish to specifically know for a fact, though. But look up Google ick on fish and, you know, see if that looks like it's the same thing. There's another super chat. Amanda Mastrangelo with the $4.99 super chat. Yep, ordered from you on Wednesday. Sorry, my phone died and I had to go back to watch. I will definitely name them that. Husband loved He-Man. Yay!
That's perfect. He-Man and
Awesome.
She-Ra. I
He-Man
love it.
and She-Ra.
And you can get a pleco and put it in there, a bristle nose, of course, and name it Man-at-Arms.
That's so funny.
All
Aw.
right. We have got to sign off here, folks, but I'm going to do what I always do, and I'm going to turn it over to you because it takes me forever to say goodbye. So it's all you now.
Well, thank you so much for watching, and we really appreciate you sticking with us and watching this full time and putting up with our jokes.
Three-letter words.
Three-letter words. And thank you to the mods that were here. We definitely appreciate you. And thank you for joining the team, Melissa. And we can't wait to see you guys next Thursday. Same place, same time.